In sport, it's the professionals that always win the glory, but Robin is the amateur, and that's a different story.
Sometimes, Blaze, I wonder if there isn't an easier way to make a living.
Oh, come, old chap, you didn't have such a bad day. Have you added up some miles score for the tourney?
You have 9 prisoners, there are 3 draws, and you have to pay the ransom for the 2 jousts that you lost.
Well, you're 7 ransoms ahead. You've done far better than I did.
We have come to satisfactory terms with all the defeated knights, with the exception of Sir Richard of the Lee.
Isn't he the one who's supposed to be a friend of Robin Hood's?
The same. He was the easiest mark in the whole tourney.
Why does an old fellow like that come to this sort of place? He's a castle, I'm told, and a family, and a couple of 100 souls on his estate.
He is here.
I am your prisoner, Sir Blaze. And I crave the mercy of my conqueror.
Yes. How much ransom money have you brought?
I brought nothing. I thought it was only my horse and my armor that I was risking.
Horse, armor, and person. It was distinctly announced that way, right, Sir Miles?
I had my bad ear to the heralds.
The ransom will be 200 golden nobles.
200?
Don't you think you're worth it? You have until this day month to pay it. Meantime, you're free, upon your sacred parole as a knight, either to surrender your person or the money by the appointed date.
I swear.
Would you mind?
So naturally I swore. You wouldn't want me flung in these dungeons, would you?
I can't think why you went into a tournament in the first place. We're getting along splendidly.
You can't be brought up as a knight-errant without feeling the urge to test your weapons once in a while.
I can.
Well, you haven't a very warlike nature. The trumpets, the gay finery, shouts of the crowd, the clash of lance against shield. Oh, why, it's almost food and drink to me.
It is food and drink to knights like Sir Blaze the Wanderer. That's how they make their living.
Do we have 200 gold nobles, Father?
Yeah, we don't have 20.
No? We only have 1 asset left.
Well, you don't expect me to go fighting in tournaments, do you?
Oh, the boy has less talent for jousting than I have.
I wasn't talking anything about jousting. I was talking about something we should be considering now in any case. It's our obligation to find a wife for you, Claude, dear.
My obligation.
Your father's obligation. Do you remember Hugh the Mercer's daughter, Gladys?
No.
Oh, never mind. Would you have any objection to marrying her? Providing the dowry is satisfactory. The Mercer wants a knight in the family.
It's not only my ransom, Claude. With a little new money for improvements, this estate should keep you for the rest of your life. You can hire a man to manage it, devote all your time to your music.
Well, in that case, bring on the Mercer's daughter.
Yes, of course, they may be aiming higher than us. What we should do is invite Hugh and Gladys here for a talk, and then show them what an important family we are.
How shall we do that?
By having important people around. I'll invite Marian Fitzwalter, and...
And yes, and who else? All the men of rank I know are away with King Richard on the crusade.
The young knights that are left won't speak to me because the sheriff says my father's friendly with the outlaws.
Well, that kills the idea, Leonia. We can't impress these people with our position unless we find some noble knights.
Then we shall just have to find some. I don't intend to languish in a damp dungeon.
Well, you as well. I thought it was just father.
Well, you don't suppose he can look after himself alone, do you? Surely you must have some noble friends.
Well, now that I come to think of it.
Hey, Robin, what about me in this one?
Take it off. We're not going jousting. This is a social visit.
See if we can do this out, Robin.
Oh. Well, this is the largest we've got. You'll have to squeeze into it somehow, otherwise I'll choose someone else to be a blue-blooded knight today.
I won't have to dance, will I?
I still don't see how we're going to help Sir Richard marry off his son.
The girl and her father will be there, and if they don't agree to the marriage, we persuade them.
No, it's not a question of force. Explain it to them again, Friar Tuck.
Now listen.
Hugh the mercer is a rich man now, but he was born a churl. If he thinks that Master Claude, that's Sir Richard's son, has powerful friends, then he'll want his daughter to marry him.
And we're the powerful friends. Now, Sir Gilliam. Sir Gilliam.
Yes, Your Grace. Did you call me?
I'm not a duke, I'm an earl. You may call me my lord.
Yes, Your Lord.
Do you think there's a chance of our getting away with this?
After all, you have us behind you.
Yes.
Ah, it's good to see you here, Master Hugh.
Me too, I'm sure.
Strange that in all our dealings together, this is the first time you've been to my home.
It's the first time you've asked me.
And this is your daughter, Gladys. I never had a daughter, you know. But perhaps it isn't too late, even now. Oh. Put away that whistle, it's undignified.
May I present you to Lady Marian Fitzwalter? And here is Claude.
Yes, we've met before.
How charming and lucky to have a marriageable daughter.
I'm not so sure about that, my lady. Bit of a responsibility, I'd call it. I can't marry her off to just anyone, not with the dowry she'll be getting.
A fortune, eh?
I don't mind saying there's not a young lady between the Humber and the Thames who can bring her husband near such a sum.
Lucky girl.
So you see, I'm not throwing her away on any young man. What I'm looking for is a strong, warlike knight who can protect her interests.
Yes, indeed. A doughty fellow.
Someone with powerful friends.
Friends in high places. Very necessary in these difficult times.
Yes, my dear. How fortunate we are to have such powerful connections.
Have you know? I was hoping that coming to the castle today, our Gladys might have met some of these important people.
Yes. Yes, well, it just happens that today most of our friends are away at a tournament at,
Ah, yes, my love, it is. The Earl of Cloudsdale just dropped in to pass the time of day. And 3 nights with him. Is it Sir Gilliam? Yes, I think it is Sir Gilliam. They say he has the ear of Prince John these days.
Cloudsdale?
Yes, my dear, Mountcourt of Cloudsdale.
Hear that, Gladys? An earl.
The Earl of Cloudsdale.
Welcome, my lord.
Sir Richard. Lady Leonia.
Welcome, my lord. No, Earl Cloudsdale, this is an honor.
May I present Hugh the mercer and his daughter Gladys.
Pleased to meet you.
I've no doubt. Lady Marian.
Sir Clovis of Ravensdale. Sir Lionel.
What splendid knights you have with you, my lord.
My attendants, Sir Clovis, Sir Lionel, Sir Gilliam. Sir Gilliam.
What are you kicking me for?
A great honor, noble gentleman. What a remarkable feat. How did you ever become so strong?
Chopping. My father started me swinging an axe when I was 5 years old.
A battle axe, he means. His father taught him to chop people.
Oh, it sounded like...
No, nothing like that.
How's it going?
He's looking for a warlike knight to protect his fortune.
Well, if that's all he wants. Claude. What about a little play before dinner?
Play? What do you mean, sword play?
What else? Come. You and I'll give the 3 of them a fencing lesson.
I don't think we ought, but for the ladies.
Oh, the ladies love it. We owe it to them to give them a good show. Come on, men. On guard. You take the big one. You'll find he's easy.
You're crazy. I can't.
Do as I say.
1, 2, 3. Hit. 1, 2, 3. Hit. 2, 3.
Oh, brave fought. Yes, well done indeed.
Enough, I've had enough.
You're too good for us, Sir Claude.
Why, your Claude's a real champion.
Yes, he is, isn't he?
Oh, please, my lord, can we not stop before this gets too serious?
By my faith, I wouldn't mind a serious fight with such a partner at my side. A pretty lesson by such a young master.
Tell me about your Earl.
My Earl. Well, he's an outdoor man, essentially.
No. His property.
Oh, that. Well, that's uncleared woody land for the most part. He prefers it that way.
Where is this estate?
Not far from here. Not as far as you might think. It's quite large. What would you say, Sir Gilliam? How many acres does our lord control?
Oh, a man could start walking from the center in any direction and not reach the edge in a day's journey.
Remarkable.
Has to be big to feed all the animals.
Oh, he has animals, does he?
Horned beasts per the thousand. Why, the king himself has no better herds.
But it's the highway that supports us all.
He has his own toll road?
Well, it amounts to that. We collect a tribute from every traveler we choose to halt.
No, it's all wrong. Listen.
Must he do that now?
Behaving like a common musician. What will they think? We weren't expecting anyone else at knightly rank, were we?
Sir Knight. Sir Knight. It's Sir Blaise the Wanderer and Sir Miles of Twine. They say they've come to collect the ransom.
Ransom? I must have miscalculated the time. Tell them you can't find me. Tell them they're searching the castle.
What are we wasting time for? She's lovely. If you don't settle my marriage arrangements today, I shall be in a frenzy.
Today, if I don't settle them in an hour, I'll be in a dungeon.
We demand to see Sir Richard. At once.
Sir Blaise and his friend Sir Miles come to collect the ransom. Do what you can to detain them. Treat them to all the old etiquette.
Well, I'll do what I can, but it's years since I'm bothered with all that ceremony.
My treasure. Master Hugh, would you care to accompany us to the Solar? There are some affairs which we should discuss.
Affairs? Business, you mean?
No.
Yes, by all means, but would you object if we asked the Earl to join us?
As a witness, not at all. That is all in order. Would your lordship care to accompany us?
This is really not necessary. My feet are
I
quite...
assure you. It's most necessary.
Here's some water to wash his feet. Me, I wouldn't all the finest ladies at court do it when the knights return from their travels.
Would you like some refreshment? A cup of wine, perhaps?
None of this is necessary. We did not come here on a social visit.
Oh, what's your hurry, Blaze?
I'll see what I can find.
The trouble with you is you've forgotten how to relax. You've been away from home too long.
I was there last summer after my 9th son was born. Except for the war in Ireland, I've been home part of every year. Never less than a week.
A week? What does your wife do?
Oh, she has the children, clothes to make, rents to collect, work in the fields to check on, castle to defend.
Oh, and a great deal more. It's a difficult matter to run an estate without a woman.
Sir Miles had a piece of bad luck 2 years ago. Killed a knight in a tournament at Shrewsbury.
It can happen.
Well, this one had 3 very short-tempered brothers.
They laid siege to my castle while I was fighting a tournament in St. Albans.
Stormed it, cut off his wife's head.
Horrible.
But the end of the story is rather more pleasant.
We caught up with the brothers while they were fighting a tournament at York and avenged her.
Sent all their heads to their wives.
Now, marriage is, of course, a holy estate, but it has its material side. I must ask you, Master Hill, to come down to specific details.
Yes. Speaking of marriage, my lord, are you married?
Who, me? Am I married? No, I'm not.
Now, this vast dowry of which you speak could hardly be less than 2,000 nobles?
The only amount I remember was 1,000.
Oh, come now. That's not a very large sum.
You think it should be more? Very well. I'll make it 5,000.
Well, now,
For his lordship. You're not married? You're a worthy knight and a great nobleman. Would you accept my daughter's hand?
Oh, you're joking.
what perfidy under my roof?
I'm only trying to do right by my little girl. You could probably use a new castle. Every nobleman could.
I could use several. The smallest dowry I would even consider would be 20,000 nobles.
In gold?
I never touch anything but gold.
That's a fixed price? You wouldn't want me to make a counter offer? And you perhaps suggest something in between and...
I'm a peer of the realm. I never bargain.
In that case, let's try to vary our differences for the sake of our children's happiness.
You gentlemen are ready now. Food and wine is laid out for you in the great hall.
I've never seen such a well-administered castle.
Thank you. I'm sure Sir Richard will be ready to receive you now.
In my castle, there will be great bathing tubs a person can sit in.
Your castle?
Yes, my father has plans drawn up by a master builder from Flanders.
Shall we go now?
Where are you building?
I don't know yet. To have a castle, you have to be married to a knight. So my father's getting me one.
And may I present my son, Claude of the Dale, Sir Blaise the Wanderer, Sir Miles of Twine, Sir Lionel and Sir Gilliam, vassals of the Earl of Cloudsdale.
Glad to meet the fellow knight. Had any good fights lately?
The Earl of Cloudsdale? I never heard of him.
You don't travel around much, looks like.
I have been to every tournament in England and Normandy for the last 10 years. And I don't recall seeing either of your faces before.
Gentlemen, pray don't stand on ceremony. I'll go and fetch Sir Richard.
Ceremony? The whole place is riddled with ceremony.
Blaise, I think I've found what I've been looking for. You know I haven't many years of jousting left.
But her father's a merchant.
A rich merchant.
We had an Italian musician here last summer who had a way of writing music down on paper. Anyone who learned to read it could just look at it and play the tune.
No. Could you teach it to me?
Well, it takes rather a long time. Now, if we were married...
Oh, is that the knight your father's going to buy you, eh? Jayne, that's a bit...
Happily done in the os mea, my benedicendum tuum domen sanctum.
Aha!
Oh-ho!
And you are a knight too, I suppose.
Sir Clovis of Ravensdale at your service.
Miles, they're all imposters. I caught this one reading.
Who are you calling whatever name you just said?
He was reading a book. Latin. And he calls himself a gentleman.
Oh, everything's a sham round here. They're trying to get the boy to marry the mercer's daughter. Probably to get the money to pay for your ransom. Why don't we throw these intruders out of here?
Good idea. Oh, ho! What's going on here?
Peace! Put up your swords.
Are you the father of the maiden Gladys?
That's right.
Sir Miles of Twine, third son of Baron Ranaldo. Winner of the jousting prize, Winchester, 1183. Exeter, 1185. Lichfield, 1186. Veteran of the Irish Wars and Scots Wars and three...
Why are you favoring us with the story of your life?
I'm expressing my willingness to marry his daughter, provided the dowry is large enough.
How dare you! Gladys is marrying me!
Lord, don't let this morning's practice go to your head. He's a veteran knight.
Oh, kill him! I'll split him through the middle!
Stand aside, Churl. Let them fight.
A battle of 4 champions.
One, two, three. Ah! 1, 2, 3. Mercy, noble sir. Name your own terms.
Kneel. I impose a ransom of 200 gold nobles for your life, understood?
Yes, willingly.
And you are to apply it against what Sir Richard owes you. You have no further claim against him.
Anything only let me depart in peace.
That you may do. But I want your pledge that you will never return to this castle again unless expressly invited.
I so swear.
Do you mind?
I so swear.
And you.
I so swear.
I've decided to accept your terms, my lord.
What terms?
20,000 gold nobles for marrying my daughter. It'll take a little time to raise the money, of course, but...
No, I never meant... It's not a question of... Well, the truth is...
So you're getting married, my lord?
He is not. Don't argue with me, Father. I've quite made up my mind.
But you saw what a bold warrior he is.
But I don't want a bold warrior. I don't want to be one of those wives who live by themselves and have to defend their castles against the enemies their husbands have made on their travels. I don't want a husband who goes off to foreign wars and leaves me to a vow of chastity or worse. I want a quiet, home-loving, peaceful knight who likes to do the same things I do.
Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood. He called the greatest archers to a tavern on the green. They vowed to help the people of the king. They handled all the trouble on the English country scene and still found plenty of time to sing. Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Feared by the bad, loved by the good.